untouchable, uncrushable.
This for people who still mad, I'm great. Fuck your feelings.
The revolution is the genocide. My execution might be televised. My execution might be televised.
Yo, and you know it's definitely going to be televised when I go. I'm still waiting on my other hosts, but right now I have one of the legendary YouTubes, in my opinion. Started watching him a long time ago, and then sometimes he's on, sometimes he's not. But when he's on, and I don't mean like he's not on when he does a review or something. I mean he just doesn't want to drop a video. And trust me, I know the feeling. Sometimes I just don't feel like doing it either. And we're in such a saturated, space that it's tough to be very original. But I've always thought that D-Ray was original because for me, the battles were always something I wanted to be on. And the man always made a special occasion for me when I wanted to be on. So I got to bring him in. And my brother D-Ray is going on right now. What is good?
What is up? What up? Man, appreciate you for having me up here this week, man.
Man, I appreciate, I'm sorry about the first time we were supposed to link up. I got the date wrong.
Yeah.
But,
No problem.
I told you we would hold off on it. And, here we are. I just want to say what's up to Jerry right now. And what is up, Dell?
King of Scream. What up, Dale?
Yeah, I gotta have Dell on here too, man. It's another brother I gotta get on with some things. We waiting on our other brother too, but today we're gonna be talking fashion. And one thing I've always been into, whether it was trendy at the time or not so trendy, I've always been into fashion. And I've always kind of carved my own way into fashion. It's weird. I've always bought things and then just felt like they needed something extra. And I always did something, a new tear in the jeans. I would add buttons that I would have from old jeans. Like I just did some crazy, weird shit to always separate and stand out. And I've always had this feeling that D-Ray kind of did the same thing. Always wanted to look a little bit different from the competition because we all back then, you went on to the same department stores. I don't know if you have Bob's stores out there.
Nah, we had that brand.
We had this spot called Bob's store, and it was just like clothes. We had the Nike, Fila, all the brands that were like trendy and hype at the time. And then they would have like the construction work for the work people. So, you would never go in that section unless you was going for some Timbs. That's the only time you went in that section. But when you went to the other section, it was just nothing but streetwear. And then I started discovering boutique shops like after that. Was there a favorite boutique shop you had, or did you just always go to like Lord and Taylor, Filene's, Macy's, your regular?
So we had like a very popular streetwear store downtown called Sonny's. Everybody always went to Sonny's if you wanted like the latest of the latest, anything that was, might have been big up north, but ain't really made it into like the Macy's and stuff like that yet. You would go there, especially on like a Saturday. They had everything kind of early or stuff that you just didn't see in Macy's, Belk's, JCPenney's. So Sonny's was the spot.
Yeah, we had one called Calvin's up in Connecticut, Calvin's sneaker shop. And if you knew him, what he would do for you if you paid him a little bit extra when the Jordans or the new Air Forces or anything like that would drop and you wanted them exclusively, you had to pay for them in full. He would give you a little ticket. He wouldn't open the door, but he had like this little slot that he would slide your shit through. And at 12 o'clock midnight, as long as it was the day, you could slide in there, give him the ticket. He would give you the shoes and you can go right to the club after that. I always loved shit like that because, you're thinking in your head, like, I'm going to be the first one. But, your man's 10 people down is going to get the same kicks that you about to get. and y'all are gonna go to the same damn club because there used to be this real hype club like 20 minutes down the road from Calvin. So you get your fresh kicks, lace them in the car real quick, throw them on, go to the club. So it was always
Swear
one of
you
those.
hoping nobody step on.
Yeah. You know, I only fought once over somebody stepping on my shoes, and that was because it was deliberate. You know, if it was an accident, I was pissed, but you'd be like, But I was never really a white, like, I wasn't always big on white shoes. To me, they had to have something, unless they were Air Force Ones that were always white.
Yep.
But like Fila, you know, like if I bought a pair of Filas, like the Grant Hills, as long as it has something to separate just being all white, because to me, no other sneaker looked right just all white. They had to like have something different to them, except for Converse.
You even in like the leather Reeboks back in the day, especially when they finally came with the gold plate.
Listen, I was not a Reebok classic dude, but let me tell you, when the Shacks dropped and the Reebok pumps, I remember I begged my mom because, you know, from the commercial, I really thought I was going to jump higher. So I was like, I got to get my A game on. I could pump up the shoes. Yeah. But I had one pair of pumps, and that was the only pair I ever got as a kid. And then I had the Reebok Classics I wasn't into at that time. I was more the Nike Cortez. I liked those a lot more. They were like different looking, and wasn't a lot of people rocking them up north. You know, that was more of a West Coast thing, and I just liked them a lot if they weren't Air Forces. But where I want to start is, did you have a brand that maybe not necessarily forced to wear, but you didn't always like to wear it? So, you know, like if your grandma got you something or somebody got you something for Christmas and you know you didn't like it, but you at least had to wear it. Is there a particular brand that you didn't like wearing?
Oh, absolutely. I didn't have much of it, but I did have I know you remember the FUBU shirts with the F and the B on it. Came in various colors, all types of colors. I had a couple of those, maybe 2 or 3. I never really cared for FUBU, but I did have the shirts, so wore them a couple times. But FUBU was never the brand. Like, I don't know what it was about FUBU. I never liked it. Even with LL Cool J behind it, like that did nothing for me. That was just not a brand for me, especially when they came with like the Fat Albert stuff and all that. I was like, nah, this ain't it.
That was they were trying to be Iceberg like so hard when they did that with the Fat Albert shit. They were trying to be Lot 29, which, you know, I know that came out a little bit later earlier in the 2000s. But that's how I felt. Like, I felt like once Iceberg really did that cartoon thing, you know, they ended up like everybody tried to do it. Speaking of, let me bring in my other host with the most. All right, he's here. You all right, man?
Yeah, I was doing something and I was just late. They were late setting up. I'm like, people are just so unprofessional, man. But what's good?
Hey,
okay,
man.
what up?
What up, Troy?
So, you know, I already gave the legendary introduction, and, you know, bringing you in. Is there anything you want to say to D, or, you know, while you here real quick?
All right, man. I have nothing but love and respect for 4KD Ray. I was the actual first guest on his podcast. A lot of people don't know when he started it, and you know what he's done for the movie battles and the movie community has been great, and I appreciate him.
Yeah, appreciate y'all having me here, man. Definitely appreciate y'all hitting me up, especially with this topic. That's one thing I like. I think I told Nick that too, man. I was like, you know, no matter how many people you got right now, just keep it going, man. It's something different. Y'all do different topics every week. It ain't just about movies, same old conversations, just with new face. Y'all doing different topics every week, man. I've been enjoying them.
What we've really been trying to accomplish with this is like having people that'll fit. You know, like I can't have somebody up here that doesn't care about brands or fashion or, you know, did nothing but wear one thing and that was it. Like that was their life. And that's why I said, I want you to think of something that wasn't Polo and wasn't Tommy Hilfiger, because again, they dominated the 90s. Like there's no other brands besides Polo
Yeah.
and you know, Tommy Hilfiger that dominated besides leather coats. And then you know who ran the leather coat game? That was Averex and Pelly Pelly. If you ain't have a Pelly or Averex and you were just rocking a regular leather coat, it don't count. It don't count. It was a no name.
And then you had Davaducci also, because Davaducci, you had
Yeah,
Boot Camp
well, they
Kid.
had the racing shit. That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah,
They had like the fly little racing jackets. I
right.
do remember that too. But
Yeah.
again, it's crazy. So I wanted to leave as far as our top brands. Once we get into that, I wanted to leave those two out because that'd be so easy. They just dominated the 90s.
Right.
So let me catch you up to speed real quick. What you missed is D-Ray said that he was not up on Fubu. That was one of the brands that he just couldn't stand.
I hated Fubu. I
Yeah,
hated
and
it.
I'm in the same boat. When they did those jerseys, the Fat Albert,
Mhm.
it was just
Yo,
bad.
you just said that. I just saw a post yesterday. They bringing back the Fat Albert line from Fubu.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. I don't know why. I don't know why. That had to be, besides the jerseys, that had to be their least selling like catalog.
Right.
Everybody just bought the FB shirts and that was it. Really.
Right.
That's all I really seen. Maybe a couple of coats, but that's it.
I will say this though. I like the fact that they're paying homage to stuff that we grew up on, because I grew up on the Fat Albert cartoon, and I like the fact because at that time there was no label that was paying homage to like our shows and movies and stuff. So I like the fact that they're paying homage to Fat Albert.
Well, I will give it that, and that's why unfortunately I released it early because we were supposed to do this episode a couple episodes ago. But the video that I had came out with how much, you know, hip hop has influenced brands,
right,
that I wanted it to line up with this, you know, but I was just holding on to it and I let it go. But if it wasn't for hip hop, really, a lot of these brands probably would have never left New York.
Right.
You know, because a lot of the brands I'm going to mention started in the heart of the city.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's just one of those. Triborough, what is a brand that you didn't like that everybody was rocking and you just weren't feeling it?
It was Fubu. Like Fubu, I like I told you, like there was one point in 2000 where I almost bought a Fubu baseball jacket, and this was like after Christmas. So you know, we get our Christmas money or whatever. We go shopping after Christmas, and I went to Century 21, and that was like the old Century 21 that got destroyed in 9/11, unfortunately. But I had picked up the satin jacket. It was like orange and black. It had like the Baltimore Orioles colors, and I already had like an Orioles fitted to match. But I was like, I know I'm gonna rock this for like a couple of months, and I'm not gonna rock it ever again. So I never bought it because I'm thinking like a lot of those hip hop brands, because they were based on the culture, they wasn't gonna be around for a long time. You know what I'm saying? Like when you look at Polo and Tommy Hilfiger, Nautica, those are timeless brands. But when we had Cross Colors and when we had Carl Kanai and Maurice Malone, a lot of those brands faded out because they were hot for like a minute and then it was on to the next one. So I was looking at it like I want to rock something where I could rock it like 10 years from now, 15 years from now, and a lot of those brands didn't stay around. So I never bought the Fubu jacket because I was like, Fubu, they got real hot, fast, and then it died down like by the 2000s.
Yeah, and I remember when y'all remember How High when they were making fun of it. It was boo foo.
Yeah.
Right.
By us, fuck you. So me and y'all are probably gonna laugh, and I don't understand how this brand even got a takeoff. I don't understand at all, but I fucking hated Paco.
Yeah, I didn't like
that.
Yeah.
What? Like there was no hot nothing. And I remember my mom was so excited one year. She came home and she's like, I can't wait for Christmas for you to open these. I loved it. And I'm already in my head, I'm thinking, okay, if my mom loved it, I'm probably not gonna like it too much. But I took it easy. I said, okay. In my face, the fakeness I had to put on when I opened up, and it was just nicely folded, and all I saw was the back pocket, and it just said Paco with that stupid little emblem symbol they had.
Right.
I was just like, oh, come on. And Paco went from, I swear everybody was wearing it in school,
Right.
to literally not even being able to stay alive in TJ Maxx or Marshalls. Because one thing I'll never disrespect, I never made fun of, was TJ Maxx and Marshalls. They was our saving grace. I
Right.
didn't care if it had a little hole in it because I was designing the shit myself. So I was going to make that hole work. You know, one sleeve longer than the other, it didn't bother me. I just rolled up one, you know what I'm saying, and acted like it was fine. Because that's where all those jeans and all those shirts went, or they were just out of season. Because for some reason, clothing brands think that fall, spring, summer, like once it's over, you can't never wear that again for the next summer.
Right.
And they'll just toss them to those stores. So I'm gonna say this right now, they will always be my saving graces.
Yeah.
You know, Marshalls and TJ Maxx have always been legit and have always helped out the lower class. That's where I was getting a lot of my polos back in the day.
Right.
Because they had a little thread hanging out. You take a little lighter,
And
good.
Yeah.
I mean, for somebody not to pay the original, you know, and you're gonna mark it down to $30 on a $70 polo. Yeah, I'm taking it.
Right.
So I've always looked at it like that.
Yeah,
Always.
but for us, if you was rocking like Jinko or Paco, like you was either you didn't have a lot of money, or you was alternative or Hispanic. Like, that was kind of their brands.
Yeah,
the Jinko jeans, they had a little bit of a run, like when everybody was kind of watching like the Daria, Beavis and Butthead, and into like the Green Day, Aerosmith, and stuff like that. You might have seen some dudes rocking them, but not really.
I had two pairs. They were given to me on Christmas. You know, I had two pairs. My uncle bought me a pair, and my aunt. And I was just like, yeah, I rocked them, but they were so big at the goddamn bottom. They covered my shoes. And if it was one thing about me getting fresh, it starts from head to toe. You know what I mean? So you got to have everything matching. And especially back then, if the creases, if my shit wasn't ironed, if the buttons weren't lining up right, I just couldn't go outside. I was that crazy when it came. I taught myself how to iron at 6 years old. You know what I mean? Because I just always wanted to be fresh. I've always wanted to be looking my best, my Dapper Dan. And that's the one thing I've always regretted. I wish I would have made enough money to go and buy a Dapper Dan. Like back in the day, Dapper Dan.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, let me get that Fendi. I want it tan with the black. Let's do this. But you know, I mean, he was charging like 5,000-6,000 for an outfit.
Most of it was like one of one.
Yeah. So, you know, if you wanted to be different, man, you just you had to put up that bread. You had to. So, all right. So can you take over for me a little bit, Triborough? And let's get into number 5.
What's D-Ray, what's your number 5 on your list?
Favorite. Okay.
Yes.
Favorite number 5 would probably be I'm gonna go Mecca.
Okay.
You were a Mecca?
I did like Mecca a bit. Not too much. Usually with the Mecca, it was kind of easy to find in Macy's, and it was usually on like deals for like 2 for $30 or something like that. So there would be like some color patterns or something like that in their clothes that I would rock. So I did have a little bit of Mecca. So I probably put it probably 5.
So for your Macy's down there, did you have like 1.5 concepts, that floor?
No, nope.
Okay. Yeah, like up here we had at 34th Street Harold Square in Manhattan, we had like there was a floor that they had called 1.5 concepts, and they would have all the newest, freshest gear. So you would have Mecca and Niche, PNB Nation, what's the, I forgot the line that DJ Clue had. He had like a line where with the suit, the joggers. I forgot the name. You had that, and then you had like, you know, Rockaway, of course. So we would go up there and we would get like all the newest gear, whatever. And then they had like, of course, Donna Karen and Tommy Hilfiger, you know, Polo. Yeah. So they had like they had like the hip hop brand on one side, and then like all the designers on the other side.
Yeah.
And it'd be like a whole floor of that. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, they even like, I know I saw somebody mention Parasuco. I never liked Parasuco either. That was like another brand.
Yeah, no.
That was terrible.
Yeah,
you know,
I didn't like them either. Just like I didn't like Moschino. Everybody was,
Moschino.
Oh yeah, nah.
because Big said it,
Right,
and I felt like that's the only reason why everybody liked it, and I never
right,
really liked Coogee sweaters either.
right. Because of
I was
Biggie.
not,
Biggie mentioned the Coogee socks in One More
yeah,
Chance remix. Everybody
yeah,
ran out to get the Coogee socks with the matching sweaters.
yeah, and I'm just like, again, hip hop has the biggest influence on
Yeah,
brands.
facts,
Period.
I
facts.
used to hate seeing dudes in the club with like them big
Oh my
thick sweaters
god.
on, man, sweating like crazy.
Yeah,
I
looking
hated
like
them
fucking
sweaters.
Bill
Bro,
Cosby. You might as well throw the pill in the
they
drink.
was not taking that off either.
No,
You
they
know?
was sweat with that shit on.
Yeah,
Cause my number one brand, I was the same way with it, and you'll see.
right.
Yeah, but Dell, let me say real quick, I'm sorry, but if I had the bread, if I was making that kind of money, I'd have bought Dapper Dan all day, and
Yeah,
I would have made him do the interior of my Infinity. I'd have been like,
facts,
I want that whole shit. I want that
facts.
leather, so I want this shit so different that when I pull up and open the door, they're gonna be like, "Is that Louis?" Right
Right,
away. So if I
facts.
had the money, I'd have been Dapper Dan from head to toe, more than Fat Joe.
Right.
We'd have been going in competitions every week. I'd have been like, "Yo, I
Yeah,
want something better than I'll give you an extra G stack if I had that kind of money." I'm not
facts.
playing.
Yeah.
Not playing. I don't know if that's gonna make anybody's list. LRG, I
It,
don't
it,
know.
No,
it will for me. Like
no, that's
for my favorite, it definitely is because they were like one of those brands that's still here. They still putting out a lot of great heat. You know what I'm saying?
Real quick, whoever this user is, no, our podcast is not on Spotify, but it will be after the Christmas season. I'm going to be uploading all episodes to Spotify, Apple, Amazon. We're going to get real deep after the holidays are over. Me and Triborough, we got a whole direction that we take in this, and we will not stop
Right.
until we get to where we want to be. And this won't be the last time you see any of our guests that are on here. They are going to be on multiple times on different times, but we will be up there soon, very soon.
So are we doing the favorites first and then the worst
Yeah,
or
yeah.
okay,
I just
so
wanted to see what number one worst for D-Ray was, and I kind
right.
of knew he was going to say that, and I didn't think anybody thought I was going to say Paco, but yeah, that was
So
bad.
what's Nick, what's your favorite we doing favorites now, right?
Yeah, number
All right, so
5.
what's your number 5?
My number 5 was Nautica.
That
Now,
favorites?
yeah, because
Okay.
Nautica had a very small run. People think that they had a huge run, and they really didn't. Again, Polo and Tommy dominated when it came because
Right.
they were all in the same class.
Uh-huh.
But there was something about, I don't know if y'all remember the golf jackets that they used to have with
yes.
the one button.
I
Yep.
had that. I had one.
Yep.
Yes, with
Yeah.
the stitching
With
With,
of
the,
the
right.
yep.
boat
And the
on
hoodie,
the
yeah,
back.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yo, that jacket, when I got that from Lord and Taylor,
Uh-huh.
and it had the little zip with the little rain hoodie.
Yeah.
My God. And then I loved their emblem. I loved that sail,
Yeah.
that ship.
Same.
So I would always cop everything except for their jeans. I was not into their jeans.
Right.
But that's because I was very particular about jeans, even in the 90s.
Same.
But that whole what they stood for, even when they had remember when they had the big jacket, the big hoodie
Yeah.
with the steering wheel from the boat,
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
and
I remember that.
it had said Nautica and it said US Sports or something. Yo, it was crazy. So Nautica was definitely like my number 5. I rocked that the most, especially 96, 97.
Right.
That was like when I was copping my own gear, getting my own bread. So I love that shit. Nautica was the shit back then. But a very small run. They're still around, but a very small run.
You know what? I will say they never left though. Like they had their runs in
No.
spurts, but they still here now. Like they even now they putting out like new stuff and a lot of the retro stuff from the 90s. So like they got the jackets with the hood, they got like a lot of the classic polo tops, and I think like they're still here. And that's one of the labels I was talking about, like wearing timeless brands, because no matter what era it is, you can still rock them and he still
Yeah.
is ahead of the game.
Yeah, I still want a Snow Beach jacket.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? But I just
yeah.
refuse to pay 300-400. Like I'm stingy with my money, man.
So
Got
we used
mouth.
to be heavy on the Nautica swim trunks. So we used to
Yes.
wear those as regular shorts,
Yeah.
and we'll cut out
Yeah,
that lining that
man.
I
was
got those
inside.
too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Those, I'm telling you, man, Nautica at one particular moment, they were just doing it. They were
Yeah.
keeping right up with Polo. Their section in Lord and Taylor
Mhm.
was bigger than Tommy's, but not bigger than Polo.
Right.
Ralph Lauren always
Yeah.
had the
Polo.
biggest section.
Yeah.
Always. Because there
Definitely.
were so many different branches of Ralph Lauren,
Mm-hmm.
you know? So that was crazy. Try,
Yeah.
what is your number 5?
My number 5 was Cross Colors. Cross Colors was like when we talk about hip hop brands, that was like the starting point for me in 1990, and rocking the jeans and the different shirts with the emblem in the middle, and you know, I rocked that for like at least 2 or 3 years. Like even in '92, they had like the denim sets. There was one denim set where they had with like the pinstripes, the white and black pinstripes, and people used to say you look like you just came from jail. Well, rocking those jail house stripes or whatever. But and they had like different colors. They had yellow, they had purple, red, black, green. I love the fact that the colors was assorted different colors, and they didn't just stay to like the regular blue and the black, but they had many different colors for people. And just the logo in itself was like it was iconic, and it was hip hop. You know, it looked like graffiti, but it was done well. And they had so many different pieces, like regular button-up shirts and hats and bucket hats, and I loved it. And I feel like even now, like having they've come back now and having when you see like Bruno Mars was rocking it on his last tour, and Cardi B, and I think it's dope that we have like 90s brands coming out again now with new stuff.
Yeah. Some of them I don't like the direction that they're going with some of the stuff because they're trying to appeal to the younger crowd. And I'm
Right,
sorry, I'll dress flyer than any of these YNs out here. I'm
right,
telling you right now. And I can't stand the fact that they say Air Force Ones are old man shoes or you can't
crazy,
wear that. And man, get the fuck out of
crazy,
here. Those will always
crazy.
be classics. Always.
Right,
Tell me I can't wear some Converses. I double dog dare you. And
right,
I'll come out with an outfit that'll smash you. Jeans cost your rent. Shut up.
right.
Okay. Don't these young ones need to learn that our fashion always resurfaces.
Yeah,
Not from the 60s, not from the 70s. And they're what they're wearing now, when you gotta
yeah.
have a zipper on the side of your pants to get your ankles through, don't ever
Right.
talk to me.
Facts.
Don't ever talk to me about fashion. Okay. That's
I mean,
so
when you see like a lot of the sneakers are like retro sneakers, so for them
yeah,
it's new. But yo,
because
I
that's how
got
it
I got
feels.
pictures from like the '90s rocking Harachis, and Harachis
Right,
are out
right.
now again, like it's a
Yeah.
new sneaker.
Yeah. Remember the Ruse? I
Yeah,
remember
the
when
kangaroos.
Ruse
Yeah,
was
yeah.
heavy
I
on
had
the
those too.
Ruse
I had those too. Yeah,
because they had the dope little pouch
the zipper
pocket on
on
the
the on the
side.
on the
Yeah.
side. Yeah,
Them shits was fly, and they're making a comeback.
yeah.
British Knights are making a
British
But it's
Knight
comeback.
nice.
came
Yeah,
back. Yep.
yep.
Like I said, everything from our generation always resurfaces because we were the flyest.
Right.
Hip hop had the biggest inspiration.
Yeah.
So, but let's move on.
Okay. D-Ray, what's your number 4? We still doing favorites, right?
Yep. Oh yeah, we
Uh,
doing favorites all the way to 1.
Okay, D-Ray, what's your number 4 favorite hip hop brand?
All right, my number 4. It would actually be higher on this one if I could afford more of it. But
Uh,
I'm going with Iceberg.
mm,
Yeah, I had
okay.
maybe 3 or 4 Iceberg shirt sweaters. You
Right.
know, that stuff, it was way too expensive, but you know, I was young back then. It was like, oh well, whatever. I didn't care how much it cost. Like if I liked it, I was gonna buy it because
Right.
I mean my money won't go into nothing else at that time. So I
Right. Right.
did. I had the what was it, the Donald Duck? It was like in a box, just his head, said like Iceberg underneath.
Right.
And I had the Snoopy with the aviator when he would fly on top of the
Mhm.
house
The house.
I
with
remember
his
that. Yeah.
glasses and his scarf. Yeah, I had that.
Mhm.
And what was it? The what was the dog? The dog one.
Pluto.
Forgot what that looked like, but there was a dog one on the sweater, and I did want I think they had a Mickey Mouse one. It was like 3 colors of blue or something like that. I really
Right.
wanted that one too.
So
Actually, I think that's one of the ones I snagged for a screenshot on my video. It's the Mickey Mouse, and it had like the
Yeah,
blue
it
and
was on the
white.
side.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
think I snagged that one for when I was talking about Iceberg on
Oh, and
video.
Speedy Gonzalez. I had that shirt. I actually lost that shirt. I wrecked my car going to what you call it, Myrtle Beach for Black Bike
Bike
Week,
Week.
and
Yeah.
I had two pair of Forces, an Iceberg shirt, and something else in the trunk. Forgot all about it. They hurried up, towed my car, and I never like went to the spot to go, get anything out the trunk or anything. So I lost all that.
Wow.
Damn. Yeah, I think you're talking about Pluto. He was
Yeah.
he was the only dog that was sponsored at that time because they only had
They-
rights to Disney and Warner Brothers.
Yeah.
Right.
So like the Hanna-Barbera stuff, they didn't come until later when they seen the popularity.
Right.
So yeah, that's crazy. I love Iceberg.
Yeah. All right. Nick, what's your number 4 hip hop brand?
So call me corny,
Uh-huh.
but number 4 for me when it first came out, I was all over it. Even went to the store in New York to see it, and that is Woo Wear.
Okay.
Oh wow. Okay.
Listen,
Well,
Woo Wear-
why? Let me ask you, why do you feel like it's corny? I mean, because again, that's another
Okay, well,
brand that's out
don't
now.
get me wrong, it's an iconic symbol.
Uh-huh.
But their shirts, their jackets, their pants were very simple. It was the symbol that sold for them.
Right.
It wasn't like they were doing anything spectacular. You had the globe, you had the
Right.
you had the Wu-Tang symbol, and
Right.
it just said Wu Wear. It wasn't like they were really trying. They knew it was going to sell just from the name.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? So, and I mean, they had like a couple of shirts with like, stuff to do with kung fu and all that.
Right.
But if you really look back, Wu Wear was a very basic brand.
Yeah.
It was
I
just the name that was selling for them.
Mhm.
So that's why I said it's kind of corny. When I look back on it now, I was like, damn, I paid that much for a black jacket with a yellow symbol.
But that's all you need because everybody know that symbol.
I get that. But everybody knew Carl Kanai. Everybody knew Calvin Klein. Everybody knew DKNY. Everybody knew all these brands, but they had to be loud. You know what I'm saying? They had to make a statement. They had to make you want to buy their clothes because of the competition out there. But when you added Wu Wear, that symbol is iconic. So the second you would put it on, you will automatically fly for the day. But to
Right.
me, looking back at it,
Yeah.
I think it was kind of corny because they really didn't branch out and try anything different.
Right.
And that's why they were here and then they were gone. They literally only lasted like 2-3 years.
I'm gonna tell you, like for that brand, I think they were coming out with clean pieces, and maybe they needed to switch it up and come out with like some graphic tees and hoodies and bucket hats and it was 90s, so it wasn't like I don't really feel like they were like ahead of the game when it comes to fashion. But as far as like if we had to do like a ranking of like the artist clothing brands, I think Wu Wear is at the top compared to like Percy Miller. Or even Sean John. I feel like Wu Wear.
Percy Miller.
Nobody was rocking that here in New York City. Nobody was rocking Percy Miller.
No, and yes, they did have that theme song was dope, but I think a lot of that has to do with Capadonna's verse.
Right.
I mean, everybody killed it, but I loved Capadonna's verse. And I loved the hook because it was catchy. They didn't need nothing spectacular. They didn't have to go out of this world for a verse. They just was letting them know, So look at Jerry with the Galvin.
Wow.
Let me check your tag, Jerry. I did tag check Jerry.
Right.
They
were doing that too. They were doing that too with the cross colors. Like if you didn't have the logo in the pocket, it wasn't the real thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So they were checking.
And for a while, I mean, bootleggers were getting good with Guess shirts and Calvin Klein shirts. They were getting real good, but you didn't want nobody to check that tag.
Right, facts. Facts.
What's your number 4?
My number 4 it was a clothing line called Major Damage. I don't know how many people knew about this clothing line. I knew New York City knew about it, but Major Damage, we had like they had like denim sets. They had like the denim jacket with the matching pants. And I don't remember anything else that they made other than just the denim sets. And they had like different acid wash jeans, and they had like even when when like the little bullet holes were like becoming a thing in fashion, they had like the little bullet holes in the jackets and the pants. And we rocked that like early 90s. That came out around the same time as like there was another brand called Used Jeans, and Used Jeans had like the big used wording on the jeans or whatever. So those two brands came out like around the same time, but Major Damage was like it was very underground, and I didn't see a lot of people rocking it unless you knew the fashion at that point in like 1991. But that's always been like one of my favorite brands. I know I got pictures when I was young in like the denim sets, and it was great. But they never came back after like the early 90s. So that's like a forgotten brand, and I just wanted to put that on the list in case people don't know what that is.
Yeah, I never heard of it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I ain't heard of that
I
one.
never heard of that one. So you got me
Mhm.
on that. I thought he was gonna say something like Bear or 20 Below or something like that, and
Nah,
then he come with
nah.
Image.
I wasn't to tell you the truth, I wasn't a fan of like the Bear and First Down coats because they were copying off of North Face.
Yeah. That's basically what it was, a cheaper
Yeah,
version.
yeah.
You know what I mean? No creativity. They just
Uh-huh.
threw a bear on it and it looked just like a damn,
Shoulder
Columbia,
shirt.
all that shit.
What shirt are you talking about? He
Huh?
said shoulder shirt. What? Jerry said
Oh,
shoulder shirt.
I
What?
think he's saying
The
show
Nike
your
shirt. I
shirt.
got Nike on. This is Nike I'm wearing right now.
Oh shit. More than air.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Mhm. Oh,
All right.
okay. Okay. We still doing favorites, right?
Yep. We're going
Okay.
favorites number one.
D-Ray, what's your number 3 hip hop brand?
Number three, I'm going with even though this one didn't had a very short run,
Mhm.
I really like the Nietzsche, their jackets and their t-shirts. So putting the Nietzsche on number three. I didn't have a ton of it, but
Right.
it was always like just one of those brands I felt like not a lot of people was walking around in it like that. So
Yeah.
anytime I could grab something that I really liked, then that was a brand that I would go with.
Yeah, I remember Anisha, like they would have Anisha and Mecca and PNB Nation all in like one spot. So when you go to Burlington Coat Factory or when you go to like Marshalls or TJ Maxx, they always in the same area.
Yeah.
And
For some reason, Mecca, South Pole, Anichi, and
yeah,
Academics were always
Academics.
in the
That's
same
the one I was
era.
talking about. The DJ Clue one.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, they were always in the same spot for some reason. I
Yeah.
never understood that because I would rather wear Mecca than wear South Pole. So I never understood why they in Burlington they were always in the
Right.
same
Yep.
jam-packed
Yeah.
area.
Yeah.
But again, Polo had their own section.
Had their own
Nautica
section.
had their own section.
Right.
It's so weird how you think about it. And Jerry, fuck you. It's not a pink shirt. This is called. This is red. It's actually a faded red tee with Knight Rider on it. So kiss my ass.
Yo. Nick, what's your third favorite hip hop brand?
All right. This is strictly because of the velour suits. I was when it comes to velour, I still got 2 True Religion velour suits, but back in the days, Carl Kanai had the dopest
Yeah.
velour suits because I loved their cursive writing. I had a brown one, black one, green one, gold one. I had all of them. I fucking loved them. Like the shirts was cool because they would always have the matching shirt. But
Mhm.
usually because I didn't want to, I didn't always want to unzip the jacket in the club and shit. When I used
Right.
to go to the club with them, I just had a white tee underneath or a black tee, whatever would kind of offset the color. Because I'll tell you what, the gold velour suit was probably the more embarrassing one to wear
Yeah.
because it had a little bit of a glittery shine to it in the sun.
Right.
So on a winter day, you know how it's real sunny out though, and it's got the
Yeah.
glare from the street and the puddles. that's what I looked like when I was walking down the street in that gold fucking velour suit, because I swear it had like this sheen to it of just pure like gold. And I'm like, oh, but I would always wear a black shirt and black sneakers or boots to kind of offset it, you know. And then if I had the red one, it was a white tee with white shoes. And, you know, like I said, it always had to match. You always had to be fly. But Carl Kanai in their velour suits, I was in love when I seen them.
Oh, yeah.
That feeling.
Definitely.
Look at D-Ray. What you laughing at me for, boy? You laughing at my gold shimmer? I could have did the Harlem Shakedown in that.
No.
Oh, man.
All right, my number 3 is Mark Echo. And Mark Echo, he had like one of those underground hip hop brands that it you know, slowly it went to the mainstream, but underground wise, you saw a lot of underground rap artists rocking it, the t-shirts and the jackets and the hats. He had like the little the rhino was like his logo.
Yep.
And we would see him everywhere. Like if it wasn't Macy's, it would be Burlington or Bloomingdale's, and he was in the hip hop boutique shops. And you know, for a while, like early 2000s, he was even styling for a Boot Camp Click. I know Buckshot wore a lot of his stuff. He has like album covers with his line on. And I remember getting there was I had an Echo sweater that I went to the Kings Plaza Mall over here in Brooklyn, and this was like after Christmas, and I found it on the floor. Like, you know, after Christmas when you go to those department stores and you go to some of those clothing spots, they might be all disheveled and they got stuff on the floor. They got the Nautica stuff on the floor and polo. And I found this Mark Echo sweater on the floor, and I'm like, yo, I gotta have this, because it was like like brown. It had like a little part of green and orange in it, but I loved it, and I took it off the floor and I bought it, and I had a Mark Echo army fatigue jacket, and had like a hood with it.
I was just about to say that when you were done. I did love the Mark Echo military line when he came out with like that whole a whole season. The colors that he had, Desert Storm, regular army. He had the black ops looking shit. Yo, that was probably one of the more genius, you know, parts of Mark Echo.
Right.
For me, I only wore that for maybe like 2 years. For me, it faded out quick because everybody was getting it. At first, like you said, I could only find it in boutiques. It wasn't in all these major stores. I had to go to Calvin's, or I had to go down to the little barbershop in the back to get it. You know what I mean? And then once it got real mainstream, I just couldn't get it. But he was always embedded in the culture of hip hop. He was for just that raw, talented look until he went mainstream. But that military line he had was fly as hell, especially with a pair of Beef and Brocks or Tim's or A Solos. For y'all who don't know, A Solos is probably way better than Tim's. That was always my boot of choice. But I know you can't agree. You're from New York. I know. I get it, Triberg. But listen, A Solos with the strap, it was game over. Columbia's with the Sherlin fur on the inside, over.
Oh, yeah.
Over. I would take those over a pair of Constructs any day. Constructs are too hard to take care of.
No, it's not. What do you got? If you're a sneaker collector, the same way you take care of your sneakers, you got to take care of your boots or your shoes.
Yeah,
it's the same thing.
But the A Solos was just fly, and they came in so many colors.
Yeah, they did.
I always loved them. Always.
Yeah. And for Mark Echo, like there was a one point where in Times Square they were building a superstore for him in the 2000s, and he went bankrupt, and it ended up it didn't even open. But I remember like going to Times Square and seeing it being built, and it never opened up.
Yeah, I remember you telling me that, because you know I had busted your balls for a second with when you did that Mark Echo, and I was like, Mark Echo, Echo was corny. You were like, no, I'm playing.
I love Echo.
Everybody had Mark Echo, man.
Right.
But I still think the military line was his dopest line he had, especially with that rhino symbol. And he had the military patch with it. Oh man, that was I'd still wear that today if I could find that. Right. I was remember he had the sweater with the button strap right here. that line of Echo was always my favorite one. Besides
Right.
the sweatsuits, he
Yeah.
has some pretty dope designs on the hoodies and the sweatpants.
Yeah.
He had some dope shit
Yeah,
going
he
on.
has some velour joints too with like the little rhino up in the corner.
Yeah. I had maybe one, but when it came to velour suits, if it wasn't Carl Kanai, it was Pelly Pelly. Pelly
Right.
Pelly was doing that for a while, so I would wear those too. But it was mainly Carl Kanai for me with the velour suits.
This is a good question. What's his name? Jagoda? He said, "Well, you're all into Frank Jabode. I love Jabode. I had Jabode in middle school."
Yeah, I wasn't into that.
Is that considered like a hip hop brand, or was that just like design?
No, it doesn't even have to be a hip hop brand. Look, I was into Bugle Boy. That wasn't a hip hop.
I had Bugle Boy too. Yeah,
but I had Bugle Boy like a motherfucker.
Yeah.
Especially with the matching jean jacket.
Mhm.
That was fly back in the early '90s when you was doing that.
Right.
Right. So I was always into that. Bugle Boy. That's not a hip hop brand.
Right.
They were acid wash. They had the front pockets that were supposed to be on the side, but they was on the knees. Like they just had so many crazy different patchwork. I used to love those jeans. And then I always thought of the commercial. Are those Bugle Boy jeans you're wearing? Yeah, they are. You remember that commercial?
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
That commercial was funny.
Yeah, I had one pair of those Jabode shuttle jeans with all like the Velcro straps on them.
Yes.
Yeah, them things was so heavy. It only took me one pair.
I heard that.
Yeah.
And was that the same brand that had an M something K or something like that across it too in the Velcro? But I wasn't into that. When I picked up those jeans and they felt heavy.
Yeah,
they felt heavier than Jankos, and Jankos were crazy heavy.
Yeah,
because of how big they were, and they felt heavier than that. So, love the back originals. Oh my god, Jerry killing it. Did you paint the tree on there, Jerry? I ain't gonna lie, I had a pair of Rugged Outbacks one year.
I never heard of those. What
are those? We had I don't know if you had Payless up in New York. I know you did because they had a big.
I never went to Payless.
Okay, you never went there, but you had it.
We had it. Yes, we had it.
Yes, okay, that's what I said. I said y'all had it.
So those boots were being sold at Payless.
So basically, Payless were just like cheaper shoes. Like these are like China made, $15, and there were ones like. You got Bugs Bunny shoes there. You had Elmer Fudd shoes there, but they had a line that was called Rugged Outback, and they tried so hard to duplicate everything Timberland did.
Wow.
Everything. Every boot that Timberland did, they were literally duplicating it almost right down to the stitch, but they had no Timberland boot or no tree anywhere.
Right.
So people knew automatically because I know when I was going to school and you had a pair of Constructs on, the first thing they were looking at is if it had a tree.
Yep.
If it didn't have a tree, you were getting clowned on.
And not just on the side, but the tree better be on the tongue as well.
Yeah, well, most of the let's face it, most of the time the tongue was flapped down. It had the burn. I remember when they did that for a while where they had you had the tongue when it flipped upside down, they had the burn mark.
Yeah,
that was dope when they did that, but the original Constructs didn't have that.
Right,
they didn't have that little. So you had to
the Chuckers had that though.
Yeah, but those were dope.
Yeah. All right, D-Ray, what's your number 2 hip hop brand?
Number 2, I am going with Sean John, man.
Of course, somebody's gonna mention Diddy. Of course,
I wasn't like mostly when it came to Sean John. I really just love their jeans. I wasn't really big on like the shirts and everything else, but like the fade jeans where they fade kind of in the middle. Those was my favorite with like the stitching on the side near the pocket that said Sean John.
Right.
And then like
I like the way he did it, the cursive. Yeah.
So like NCANT, like every year their homecoming is a big thing here. So it was like 11th grade. I'm working. I don't make probably about $200-300 every 2 weeks because like 16, 17 years old. But we knew we was going to their homecoming game, and I went in Macy's and I seen like Sean John. This is when it kind of first came around, And I
Right.
seen like this windbreaker suit. That thing was $225, but I was like, yo, I gotta have that for homecoming. So
Right.
I definitely grabbed it. I love that windbreaker suit, man. It was so dope. And
Yeah.
that was like the first thing I bought from Sean John. And then those like fade jeans. And then I think I had like two pair of kind of like the shiny material jeans of theirs.
Right. Yeah.
I always like the material for Sean John jeans.
The shiny jeans, I remember that in the 2000s. That was like a trendy thing. Like Guess had they shiny jeans and Sean John. And but again, like it faded out quick because everybody was
Yeah.
rocking it.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And then it was like when looking back at it now, it looked kind of tacky because it didn't go with everything.
Right.
So you have to like really pick out the certain tops to wear with it and certain type of sneakers or boots or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But me, I've seen, Sean John had some pieces that were nice, but I always felt like it was an overpriced clothing brand, and I never bought anything from Sean John. I was more Rockaway than Sean John.
Oh yeah, well, Rockaware. Come on, Jay's my man. But when it came to that, I think over everybody, Rockaware probably dominated that whole market. When it came to hip hop people releasing their own brand, I don't think Fat Farm came close. I don't think Sean John came close. I mean, the first year he made 80 million, just him. You know what I mean? Not even the company. The company made more.
Right.
It was when they started to get a little too greedy is when, but no, Rockaware is still not my number one. You'll see that one.
Well, Nick, what's your number two?
My number two was D-Ray's number 4, I believe, and that's Iceberg. Here's the trick that I never told anybody. I myself had 4 of the sweaters. I had the Pluto, I had the Bugs Bunny, I had the Porky Pig that said "That's all, folks."
Yeah.
Right.
And then my man's, he liked Iceberg as well, and then my other boy liked Iceberg as well. So what we did was, I had 4 sweaters, he had 3, and my other man had 4. And we alternated them because we all went to different schools. So while everybody thought that I had all these different Iceberg sweaters and I was just going in flossing,
right?
And it was really because we were rotating the sweaters because that's how the crew rolled. One day I would rock, Pluto, and next day I would have the Snoopy with the house. You know what I mean? With Woodstock on the back of the scarf. You know what I mean? So Iceberg was just one of those where I only could afford a few pieces, but those pieces I treasured, and then my boys treated it the same way. So we used to switch out all the time with those. We did that a lot with Polo, Tommy, and Iceberg, because between all of us, we had Macy's men's department. It was crazy. So that's Iceberg is my number 2.
All right, my number 2 is gonna be LRG. I love.
There you go. Where is he? He was asking about that. There you go.
LRG
was gonna come with
was so dope. Like the advertising, like seeing when you look through like the XXL magazines at that point, and you seen like Wale rocking it, and you seeing they had like so many other artists rocking it and actors, and I was a huge fan of like their designs and the prints and the different pieces they had. Again, like they had like denim sets with the matching denim jacket and the jeans. They had the shorts, they had the swimming trunks, the t-shirts, the hoodies. They put out like limited pieces for like even like the iconic Halloween the horror figures, like they had like a Freddy Krueger sweater, and they had like the green and red, and then they had like the all black, and then they had one for, I actually have the Jason Voorhees hoodie. I still got that one. They put out one for Jason. They put out a werewolf limited edition hoodie with like the hoodie. The hoodie would look like it had like the werewolf ears on it, and they were just creative at that time. It was just like a brand that was dedicated to hip hop, and they were putting out different pieces that other brands at that time wasn't doing, and then just getting that cosign from the hip hop artists was just dope to see. So, and even now, like they're still doing it now. They still got a great brand. I know they're doing like a promotional thing with there's a rapper called the Mussolini, and he's been wearing a lot of their stuff like for the past 2 years, and like in his videos and his photo shoots, and I still love what they're doing.
Yeah, and what's funny about LRG is a lot of people don't even know is they started as a skating clothes.
Right. Right.
You know what I mean? And the way that they were doing those whole limited pieces, the only brand that I can think of that really was doing it like that, and this was more in the 2000s, was Artful Dodgers.
Right.
You know, Artful Dodgers was coming out with those limited run jackets, limited
Yeah.
run pants.
Mhm.
But LRG started that back in the late 90s where, like you said, they had those, they even had their own line of military shit too. They
Yeah.
had the Desert Storm jacket
Yeah.
that looked like the actual Desert Storm, but it had the big tree on the back.
Right.
And it was legit. It wasn't no iron on. It was like a legit stitched
Mhm.
limited edition joint. So,
Right.
you know, LRG was definitely up there. And I used to love when they had the giraffes on their shirt.
Right.
You ever
Yes.
see the one that had the giraffe that went up over the shoulder?
I don't remember
Did
that
you
one
ever
though.
see that one?
No.
So the giraffe was here and
Yeah.
it had the neck was bending over and looking down, looking like it was about to eat the tree
That's crazy.
on the back. That shit was
Crazy.
wild.
Yeah.
Wild.
I've never seen that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yo, LRG was the shit though.
Definitely. And I like the fact that they like I want to say the last year or so they retro their iconic some of their iconic hoodies, like the Jason Voorhees hoodie with the mask, and they had Jadakiss do the promotional run for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I seen him rapping about that.
Yeah. I mean, yeah,
Right.
because they had like the Freddie versus Jason with Fabulous
Yep.
album. Yeah.
Yeah, which Fabulous got bodied.
Yes, he did.
We'll move on.
Mhm. Yeah. Okay. D-Ray, tell us what's your number one hip hop brand?
All right, my number one. I ain't want to say nothing earlier to give it away, but it was Academics.
Oh no.
I loved
Oh.
Academics, man. I had
Nice.
the headbands, I had the wristbands,
Wristbands.
button-down shirts, every T-shirt. That was
Yeah.
my go-to. Every weekend we would go to Macy's. We'd hit the mall up early in the morning, find something to wear for that day, go back to the mall later that evening, and then go to the movies or wherever. Like every weekend, I bought 2 Academic shirts. Anything that came out new, I would make sure, like, if it was a whole bunch of T-shirts dropped or something, I'm buying 2.
Yeah. Yeah, they
That
were
was just
killing it.
definitely my go-to brand for a while.
I remember seeing like DJ Clue and the whole Desert Storm crew rocking the Academics jogger sets. I'm like, bro, they got some of the best jogger sets out.
Yeah, and I still hold that. Besides the brand I'm about to name for my number one, but I'll still hold that up there with as far as like the designs,
Yeah.
the color combinations.
Yep.
They always had the right. It seemed like they knew when certain sneakers were going to drop.
Yeah.
Because they would
I agree.
have a color combination for those sneakers before they even dropped.
Right.
So, you know, you would go and get the brand new dunks and you like, yo, how they know? Like, you know, and it matched perfect. It was like the perfect royal blue with the perfect off-white.
Mhm.
They had some crazy crispy looking
Right.
stuff. They really did. I did like Academics. I would have wore that over Mecca. I would have wore that over South Pole. Yeah,
Mhm.
that was dope. Because you can't deny South Pole did have a short run. It was
It did.
quick.
It
It
did.
was quick. You sneezed and you missed it, but they still did have
Yeah.
some good pieces at one
Right.
point, especially sweatsuits.
Yeah,
You know,
definitely.
that was like their signature thing too.
Mhm. All right, Nick, tell us what's your number one hip hop brand?
All right, this started in the old. Well, not she wasn't old. She old now, but this started in a ladies' boutique shop, and somehow literally blew up into hip hop and became the hustler's clothes dream, and that is 555 Soul.
Dope.
555 Soul had the hidden pockets. Only hustlers knew where they were. They had the Velcro on the waist where your belt went, so that if you got hemmed up by the cops, because you know I did a lot, and you had the Velcro, cops never found it. They had the pocket inside of the hoodie pocket, inside of the zipper pocket. Their tag, they used to have a big square patch for their tag.
Right.
And there used to be a zipper on top of it that was in the lining of the sweater. And then they had another piece where the sweater would unzip from here, but you couldn't see the zipper because it was so small. It was kind of like embedded in with the seams. and you would unzip it, and you can literally stuff shit behind your back.
That's
I
crazy.
mean, 555 Soul, when Common was wearing it, when De La Soul busted out with it,
Yeah.
when I remember watching Dave the Chappelle show, they were still rocking it on there with Talib Kweli. When I saw Black Thought with it, I actually had the red suit with it had the big 5 on it,
Right.
and all it said was 555, 555, and then on the back it said "Release Your Soul."
Yeah.
That was my shit. So
remember.
that was my number one brand. I absolutely loved it. Everything that she was coming out with, whoever her design team was
Yeah.
on point. But it started out in a little shop in New York, in her own neighborhood, and she was just sewing shit together, and
Right.
it turned into a huge brand. And now they're a luxury brand.
Right. Yeah.
They're still online, but I refuse to pay $500 for a cardigan.
Right.
You're not Polo. You know what I mean? Like, I'll do that for Polo if I had it.
Right.
You know, I have a boat jacket from Polo, you know, and it's like a blazer type, but it's a boat jacket, captain's jacket. I'll never get rid of it. And that shit was almost $800 back in the day. And I still got it. Still got it.
Does it still fit?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. I'm not a big dude. You know, I never grew anymore after I turned a certain age. So, but yeah, that shit was fly. I got it at the Ralph Lauren outlet.
Right.
In Massachusetts, we had a huge Ralph Lauren outlet, and that's where I would go to get all the shit for cheap, 40% off all the time. And it was just because it was out of season. There wasn't nothing wrong with it. It was just an outlet. It was out of season. So I said, I'll take that. That was my shit.
That's crazy.
What is your number one, though? I'm interested to hear this.
My number
Mr.
one,
New York.
My number one is going to be Rockaware. Rockaware, for so many reasons. I mean, Jay-Z is one of the best MCs all time. You know, he put Brooklyn on his back after Biggie passed away, and we started to see him turn into a mogul after the many multi-platinum albums he had, and Rockaware to me was just dope. And I was also on their street team. I was on the Rockaware street team, so they were sending me free stuff in the mail.
Fuck you for that.
But I was still gonna wear it regardless though, because I love their denim, the denim jackets and the jeans and the t-shirt. He had special limited edition t-shirts where I remember getting one. There was one t-shirt he had where it had like all his album covers at that point. So it was like from Reasonable Doubt to I would say maybe Blueprint 2, Blueprint 3. And that was fire. And then the baseball satin jackets, the winter coats with the fur hood, everything they did was just it was classy. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, like Sean John, I think Sean John wanted to be like Rockaware, but it was more high priced stuff for Sean John compared to Rockaware.
Because he thought he was higher.
Yeah. And we saw Rockaway everywhere. They were at Dr. J's, they were at Jimmy Jazz, they were at Macy's, they were at Bloomingdale's, everywhere. They were there. And they had so many different pieces and colors. And I think it was as far as rapper lines, that was the best one to me.
Yeah, I said it to you the other day, Tribe, but I miss Dr. J's. I've only been in that store maybe 3 times. But every time I went, I spent at least a G, and I loved it. Like, everybody was so cool. Nobody ever ice grilled you in the store when you was looking at something and they wanted it, but you got it. Like, yo, Dr. J's, the couple times I've been there was always a chill spot, and I love that store. Was huge.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Huge, and I can't believe they went out of business, man. That's crazy. But for me, actually, if it wasn't for Dame Dash in the deal with Iceberg falling through, there would be no Rockaware. Because Jay was trying to get an endorsement with Iceberg. Iceberg said, "We don't need you. We don't want you wearing our shit." And then that's when it fell. And when Rockaware came out, thanks to Dame Dash put all that together. Jay was just the model.
Facts.
But if it wasn't for Dame Dash, nobody gives him his flowers enough. I know he cries a lot. I know he whines a lot. But y'all have to give him his flowers when they're due. Yeah. And he was the brainchild behind all of that.
Yeah,
every single piece, even to where the fabric came from. he was involved.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's why you could tell the difference between Rockaware and State Property, because State Property wasn't backed by Dame. That was Beanie Siegel all himself.
Yeah.
But you could tell the difference in quality.
Right.
That's why State Property was in Marshalls more than Rockaware was.
Right.
It wasn't in Filene's. You know what I mean? So Rockaware was definitely up there, but at that particular time, I didn't get heavy into Rockaware until Blueprint. Remember when he had inside the Blueprint cover, he was standing there with the T on and he had the Rockaware belt buckle?
Yeah.
I had that Rockaware belt buckle. Yeah. So I that's when I started getting real heavy into Rockaware. But even when it first came out, I wasn't like, just because it was Jay's brand. I wasn't all over it. I was still on my 555 Soul shit. You know, the Carl Kanai, I was still on that. And then Blueprint, once I opened up the CD and I seen that belt and them jeans, I said, yep, Rockaware it is.
Yeah.
So, before, go ahead, my bad.
No, I was no, go ahead. You go.
Well, before we head out, because it's been an hour and 6, and you know we like to try to keep it tight. Go ahead. Yeah, I know you got your number one. I know you got your number one.
No, that was my number one, Rockaway. But I was saying I thought we were doing like worst, like top 5 worst lines, or we're not doing that.
No, I just wanted y'all to pick your worst line. You got another one? Okay. You want another one?
I got a lot. Really, Esco.
That was on my notable.
That was bad, bro.
Yeah, that was real bad.
And they tried to capitalize off of Nas's name. You know what I'm saying? Like even like if you I don't know, like if you have the Nostradamus album, like in the insert, like he's standing with like the Bravehearts, he's rocking Willie Esco.
Yeah, because even like here, a lot of people thought that was his, right? Because that's he was always attached to it, and then the Esco part, Escobar. So everybody thought like it was his brand.
Yeah.
That brand was trash, and even when they did remember they did the knockoff throwback jersey.
Yeah,
that was horrible. But they tried to look like the throwback. What was it? Pedro's? Was it the Pedros or the Astros?
I think it was Astros. Yeah,
they were trying to copy off. Yeah, and even that looked bad. I was like, look, first of all, it ain't got a Mitchell and Ness on it.
Right.
If anybody was wearing those fake throwback jerseys, remember when Champion tried doing that shit?
Yep.
And everybody was like, nope, it doesn't say hardwood and it doesn't say Mitchell and Ness. Right. We love you, champ, but it ain't happening. Okay.
Right. Yeah.
So was anybody in the starter coats?
I just got a new one. I just got a new one. Yeah.
I remember back in the 90s, them pullovers were like everywhere.
Definitely.
Boston Bruins was the most famous. Boston Red Sox, the Charlotte Hornets because of the colors, the Chicago Bulls because of the colors. Yo, those pullovers, if you had one or two of those, you was fly. You didn't have to worry about nothing else for the day. And if it rained, they had the attachable hoodie.
Yeah.
It was so dope.
Yeah.
I really loved those starter coats back in the days.
That was classic. I forgot about those.
Yeah. You got another one you want to spit off real quick?
I'm gonna do. Let me just at least do 2 that I'm gonna throw in there, because one we already really talked about was Coogee. Never liked Coogee, but y'all might hate me for this one, but I never liked this brand whatsoever. Never owned it, but I've never liked True Religion.
Oh man, we were just talking about that too. Yo.
Yeah, I couldn't get with it. Like,
but that wasn't in the 90s. They started in 2002.
Right.
And tell me what. Now I have to know, because I mean, True Religion was getting their denim from Levi. Like, what didn't you like about it? Did you not like the popularity because of the?
I'm not really big on like jeans with stuff on them. So like, I never liked the logo on the back with like the horseshoe. Too much. They had like too much studding and stuff like that going on their stuff. I always felt like it was aimed, like, to me, I would see more people like, Latina, Hispanic or something. Like, that's who it looked like it was aimed towards to me. Like, I just never really cared for that brand.
Actually, he was trying to aim it at cowboys,
Yeah,
rodeo. That's
yeah. I
why
just
it looks
never
like that, and
got
that's
it.
why his symbol before he sold the company, the symbol used to be the cowboy stitching, and it said "True Religion" in cursive on the plaque because
Right.
he wanted it for cowboys and rodeo. Same with double Ralph Lauren's; they were made for cowboys, not for street dudes, and
Right.
I was rocking them.
Right.
So it just is what it is. I'll let you go on this one, D, because that's 2002. So if we do a 2000 to 2010 and you're on it, you can mention True Religion again. But for now, I cannot agree with that.
Yes,
I
I am a True
cannot agree
Religion
with that.
hater.
True Religion is my favorite jeans. I don't like their shirts.
Yeah, I don't.
I'm not big on their jackets. I like
Yeah.
their velour suits and some of their jeans now because they are going way left field. That
Right.
the Von Dutch, nobody's wearing Von
Oh
Dutch.
yeah,
Nobody's wearing Ed Hardy because that's going to be their next. They're just trying to pull whoever they can because they're about to go bankrupt again.
Right.
That's the problem. They went bankrupt twice already. Third time's going to be the charm. So I like their classic stuff, and those are the only pieces that I own are their classic joints that I designed myself. I ripped them up and frayed them, and I did my own thing to them because they were just. I don't like their actual designers. I want to
Right.
smack them in the mouth. I'll be honest. And
Right.
the fact that you're going to turn me down was crazy. Insane.
Before we leave, I got a question for you. Like, how did you all feel when you hear that, brands like Timberland and Iceberg didn't recognize our people's influence on their brand?
I stopped wearing them. I mean, I bought one bottle of Cristal in my life, and it wasn't at a club. It was at an actual liquor store because it was only $300 a bottle, not $700 a bottle.
Right.
Tasted like piss. So I never bought another bottle. But, when you hear things like that, like the rumor about Tommy Hilfiger saying he
right.
didn't want
Yep.
black people, it was a rumor.
Right.
You know what I mean? And, you have to think about it. Polo was really the first one to put a black model on, and that's Tyson.
Right.
You know what I mean? If it wasn't for, Polo adapted, he wasn't aiming for the brand to be hip hop, but he took that and adapted it. And then Tommy duplicated it. And I think personally, somebody from Ralph Lauren probably started that rumor just to not try to knock out the competition.
Right.
Because you have to remember from, let's say 93 to 95, every focus was on Ralph Lauren.
Right.
Everything. Every group, every rapper, everybody had Ralph Lauren. And then when Aaliyah and TLC popped out with Tommy, it just boom. And he was just Tommy was doing the smart shit and giving out the clothes to artists.
Right.
Versus making them buy it. So he did the smart shit, and that's why he dominated.
Mhm.
But I really think that rumor, it was never proven, and then I think it was made up by another brand. I think somebody tried to sabotage him, and it didn't. It worked for a minute, and then they went right back to it.
And then for Timberland, like Timberland actually had to give racism the boot promotion because there was like a big article in the New York Times at that point that they didn't recognize black people or they didn't want black people associated with their boots.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. I never liked the
Wow, I
Visual
forgot
jeans.
about those.
I wasn't into that.
They look like fucking McDonald's. That shit was so corny. I hated those. And I mean, everybody on my block had a pair. Everybody. Because, at first it was only a boutique thing. But again, Evisos was not 90s. That was early 2000s. That was really the time where like Billionaire Boys was popping.
Yeah.
Ice Cream was popping.
Yeah.
I mean, all those crazy, weird brands, they were really, really popping.
Yeah.
And I liked a few pairs of ice creams, but they weren't for me. Billionaires Boy Club weren't for me. Babe and Eighth, Wasn't for me.
Really like them.
You know what I mean? To me, I'll still look at Babe and Ape like fake Nikes.
Oh man, don't say that.
I just was never into it. Even when
But
they
see,
tried,
I feel like with Bape, they've evolved now past
Well,
the
yeah,
footwear that
now.
they're doing coats and jeans and all that. I feel like they have to do that because if they just stayed one dimensional with the sneakers, they wouldn't be around right now.
Yeah, but I just wasn't. I wasn't big. There was too much patent leather, too much shiny shit. I wasn't feeling it. I wasn't feeling it.
Man.
Give me my leather. Give me my suede. I'm good. You know, I don't need the patent leather. Once in a blue, okay. The Jordans, patent leathers, yes. You know,
Right.
yes, cool, but not the whole damn shoe.
So you like the Jordan? You like the Jordan 11 patent leathers, but not the Bape ones?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's too much. The tongue was patent leather. Like, come on, like it's too shiny. It just looks like they put a gloss coat over it, and I didn't like it. I was never big into Babe and Ape at all, and all my boys was, nah. I was never big into it. Or Eviso jeans. I didn't like those either. Those are corny. I'll take a pair of True Religions any day over those. Back in the day, True Religion, not this.
Not now.
Whatever. I don't want no dude staring at my ass to read Von Dutch. Okay.
But at that time in the 2000s, like all of those designer jeans, they had to have something, eye catching on the pockets, on the back pockets.
Yeah. But again, it looked like McDonald's.
Right.
Especially when dudes had the black ones with the yellow.
Yeah.
You walking around looking, what do you represent?
Nick, I ain't gonna lie. I might rock a pair with Vizu now though. I think they look good now. Like, but they gotta be fitted. Like back then, we were rocking them baggy. They gotta be fitted now though.
No, even if they're fitted. So now you just go like a McDonald's pole.
No, I'm saying because like I told you, like when I look at the baggy look is back now, right? When I look at the baggy jeans and the young kids wearing it now, I don't like it. And I was rocking the baggy jeans back in the 90s, but now I feel different about it now because I'm older.
No, we started the baggy shit. Come on, we were sagging our shit before. We were sagging our shit before sagging was.
Bro, like now, like when I was 14, that was cool. Now that I'm a grown man, I'm looking at it. I'm like, bro, I would never rock baggy jeans again. That's just me. I would I need it fitted, but not skinny jean wearing.
No.
But it gotta still be like, it gotta still be loose, but it gotta be fitted. I think they would look fly now.
No, I just don't like them.
You're like, no.
I don't like them.
Nope.
I don't like them. I would take Artful Dodgers over them. Right. I would take what was popping? I would take Kid Robot over them. Kid
Robot was fly, yeah. You remember you remember Crooks and Castle?
Oh yeah. Crooks and Castle was still around.
Yeah. They have some fire stuff.
They did a team up with True Religion and it failed as well.
Wow, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, that was a couple years back. Like I said, True Religion now is just trying to do whatever they can to hold on, and it sucks because they don't want, for some reason, they don't want to bring in real thought of what people are really wearing.
Right.
Nobody's wearing Von Dutch. Jim Jones kept it alive.
That's coming back too. I've seen a lot of those motorcycle jackets coming back.
But the motorcycle jackets was fly, but everything else, again, I don't want to walk down the street with dudes looking at my ass.
Right.
Okay. Just like when what was it, Foxy Rabbit or something like that, where they had they had the fox on the front of the jeans where your dick was.
I remember.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
I remember those. Yeah.
Don't stare at my shit. Some things are just better left not being there.
But you know what? I think for that time, it was all about who can have the most flyest, eye-catching jeans or jacket or nameplate belt. You know what I'm saying? Like it was 2000s was an iconic time for fashion.
But again, not realizing sometimes the most simplest thing is fashion.
Right.
So,
I mean, if you go out, let's say you go out with the family on a Friday night to the movies, you don't want people staring at what you got on, like, yo, look at his kicks, look at his jeans.
Yeah, but first of all, I always, if we going out, which it isn't much because economy, but if I'm going out, yeah, I'm looking fly, but I'm different. I'll put
Right.
together. I'll walk out of here with green jeans, and people will be like, "Yo, where'd you get those?" I'm telling. I'm different. Trying to tell you,
Yeah, so
I'll look like a straight up blood coming out the house, and I won't
he
care.
showed me those colored jeans, bro. I'm like, man, that's different for sure.
I'll rock them. I
Yeah,
just like as soon as I get them Camerons fixed, I'm rocking those again too. Like I'm telling you,
bro.
it's crazy.
You rocking all pink or no?
Yo, okay. My wife hated this shit, but I had an Artful Dodgers purple and velour
Oh,
sweater, head like the whole sweater,
right.
and it had the leaves and the vines and the butcher knives running all through the shirt.
Right.
It was fly as hell,
Mhm.
and my wife wouldn't come out in public with me with it.
Wow.
So that shit was
Too much,
fly. I don't
too
care.
much purple. Too much purple.
No,
Bro.
it was lavender with
Lavender.
purple accents, and I
Wow.
still walked out the house with them with a pair of black jeans. That's all you need.
Man.
The sweater's enough attention, and then I put those Camerons on.
Yeah. That's all you need. That's all you need.
Game over.
Yeah.
Game over. But we're gonna wrap it up because it has been an hour and 20. I don't want to hold up D-Ray anymore. And next week we do have another guest coming on. I don't want to say who yet, just in case they back out.
That might be our most controversial episode ever.
What?
That's all I'm gonna say. The guest that's coming on might be our most controversial episode ever.
No, I think when we do the weirdo episode, that's gonna be
Well,
the most
that too, but
because it's time.
I'm gonna just say that the guest coming on next week is gonna be controversial.
Yeah, but it's
Yeah.
a great topic, nostalgic, and everybody loves VHS because we all grew up on it.
Right.
You know,
Right.
I grew up in the Betamax. You know what I mean? My dad had Betamax.
Oh, wow.
That box was big as hell. So I don't know if you ever seen the Betamax box, but that shit is.
I don't think I ever saw it. I never had
Yeah,
that.
you don't want to see it either. Shit probably weighed 40 pounds from the look of it. But D, do you want to promote anything? Do you want to say anything? You are down in the description, so make sure y'all go over there, sub. You gonna start doing some more stuff on your channel, man? We need the battles back.
I've been thinking about it from time to time. I don't know.
Come on, bro. Like, yo, I told D-Ray years ago, I'm like, bro, I need a vinyl battle against anybody. I will beat anybody. They're not fucking with me when it comes to this vinyl, bro. I'm telling you. I'm already putting it out there. Anybody that want to battle me when it comes to vinyl or CD, even tapes, I got it on lock.
Yeah, and
we need that. We need that battle. I would love to see a video game battle with John Doe, Juggalo, and Jerry. That's gonna be iconic.
Yeah, because they got the collection. Just like if you ever decide to do a fashion one, minus the shoes, because I ain't got many kicks anymore, but jeans, shirts,
hey, I'm down for that one. I'm down for that one.
Kill it. I'll kill you. Better call Jim Jones to back you up. I'm telling you, I'll kill you. I got bins. Okay, you think I got movies? I got bins of clothes.
They don't want that smoke. You don't want that smoke.
Don't want that smoke. Trust me. Trust me.
He said Floyd House versus Triborough.
Yeah, man. I think that'll be a game changer. Like to have because I mean, there's a gaming community too. I know a lot of gamers. You know, we know movie people in the community that are gamers as well. And I think that would be like a groundbreaking battle.
I think what would take the battles to a ground level, like literally. First of all, you were always the best to do it. I don't give a fuck what anybody say.
Definitely.
They can say whatever they want. You are the best to do it.
Definitely.
Out of all the copycats that I've seen, I won't mention no names, but they ain't do it like you. You always had the right questions. You let the audience decide. You give them time. Nobody does it like you. You kill it.
Definitely.
But if you started doing the vinyl, there's cassette collectors out there that still have cassette players. Like if you get into different aspects like what we're doing on this podcast, I think that shit would just take off. Because we are in a space where there's so much collecting. Like it could blow up.
I'll even be a a guest judge on any of them. Like I'll make time to be there for any of those battles.
I like the way D does, letting the audience do it and then making it a timer so that it's not
Right.
because it's always been the problem is always been a popularity contest.
Right.
So when me and Jerry battled, that was legit because I'm not very liked. Jerry's not very liked.
Right.
It is what it is. So that was it was really who pulled out the better movie. And Jerry got me. You know what I'm saying? But it doesn't matter the size of your collection. It doesn't matter any of that. It's a fun time. And it was something that everybody enjoyed.
Right.
And if you bring it back with vinyls, tapes, CDs, sneakers, like just if you do it like that, I'm telling you, and just do it once a month. You ain't got to do it every week because then it gets boring. You do it once a month. Anticipate the battles. They ain't got to go all WWE like me and Jerry did, or when I went at Bob and all them. It doesn't have to be like that, but there has to be some hype behind it. You got to create that. You know what I mean? You got to create that build.
I'm going straight John Cena. Like they ain't gonna see me again after I win. You know what I'm saying? Like never seen 17. I'm going straight John Cena on them.
Yeah, with the vinyls, yeah.
Hell
But with the clothes, no.
Nah, you don't want no smoke with me. When it comes to sneakers, you don't want no smoke with me. You do not want no smoke. Hey, we set it up right now. I'm ready.
No, we're gonna let D go and we're gonna end it. But yo, again, D, thank you. We do want to have you back. Maybe when we do the 2000 to 2010 or something like that.
No doubt.
All of our guests have been great. We want them all back. And it's just been really fun, man. It's been really fun doing this. And I do appreciate the words of wisdom at first. I took them the wrong way. And then I realized what you really said. So I really do appreciate it. But, anytime you want a platform too to come up, if you want to make an announcement, pop in, send me a link. If we're on, you on. This is your platform too. We out here for the culture. We don't play that favorite shit out here. So, and you'll find that out in the weirdo episode. This shit needs to stop.
Boy.
No, it needs to stop. And we ain't deleting nothing.
Nope.
Okay? Whenever we live, we ain't deleting nothing. When we say what we say.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay? I'm gonna say what I have to say. You got a problem with it? Don't fucking watch it.
Pretty much.
That's it. But much love, y'all. Thank y'all for hanging out. We appreciate it. Try, you want to say anything before we head out?
Thank you for everybody for stopping by on Friday nights. We are definitely gonna make this the platform to watch on Friday nights. And salute to everybody for supporting us.
Thank you, y'all. I'll see y'all on the next one.
Yeah.
Peace.
Thank you. You love me. You really love me. You're not going anywhere.